Hello, good evening. Welcome to our Sunday night episode of Brett's Old Time Radio Show. Welcome to my home here in beautiful Lyme Bay. Lola the puppy and I are very pleased you could make it. But where did that weekend go? It's fly by, don't they? Thanks for joining us once again for... Oh, can you hear? There's seagulls in the background. I don't know if you can hear them. Huge thank you for joining me once again for our regular late night visit to those dusty studio archives of old time radio shows right here at my home on the south coast of the United Kingdom. I'm Brett. I'm your host for our nighttime podcast. Welcome to another episode. I've got Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. They're all called Brett's Old Time Radio Show. If you could check them out, that would be great. We've got a brand new Sunday night podcast. It's a true crime story. So if you get a minute, do please ask your device to play Sunday Night Mystery. We've got a supporter page at patreon.com/Brett's Old Time Radio Show, but it is time now for some more adventure with a man called X. This one first broadcast on the 30th of July 1946. It's called Turtle Island Vacation.
Herbert Marshall as the Man Called X.
Well, there you are, Mr. Thurston. Turtle Island, at the quietest spot on the whole coast of Maine.
Can't be too quiet for me, Captain.
Not more than 30 souls living here year-round.
No tourists, I hope.
Don't take much to tourists, except Miss Dickinson and Miss Hancock. They don't figure. Been here 6 months. Of course, the two nieces are visiting, but they're quiet. You're not counting on company.
I came up here for a complete rest, Captain.
Sick?
Tired.
You don't look it. Well, better be getting back to mainland.
Thanks for everything.
Pick you up one of these days.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, what?
Well, now that I'm here on Turtle Island, Captain, where is everybody?
Minding their own business.
You sure this is where he came?
This is where I brought him.
If anybody asks me, this is a funny place for a vacation. But there's nobody here to ask me.
Looking for somebody, son?
Oh, where did you come from?
Been here 55 years.
Oh, then you must know Mr. Thurston.
Yep.
Good. Maybe you can tell me where he is?
I don't know. Ain't seen him since I shot him.
Well, then I guess I bet... Huh? You shot Mr. Thurston?
Yep.
Why, that's murder.
He ain't dead.
Oh.
Son, I come here 55 years ago to be alone. And I can't be alone if people keep on coming.
Is that why you shot Mr. Thurston?
Oh, pull yourself together, son. I ain't gonna shoot you no more than I shot your friend. Just let my gun go off accidental-like so he'd know not to stay too long. Get it?
Don't look at me that way. I don't want to stay here. Honest. All I want to do is to find Mr. Thurston.
Up yonder. That shack. Top of the hill.
Oh, come in.
Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Pagan Zellsmith.
On such a lonely, morbid little island, you should be very glad to see me.
Pagan, one of the reasons I chose this lonely, morbid little island for my vacation was to avoid seeing you.
Vacation?
But now you're here, will you join me in some pollock con polo?
Polo? Here?
Yeah. Fried fish and rice. Here, have some.
Thank you, Mr. Thurston. Now, not the business. Just why have you come to this unspeakable place?
You really want to know?
I knew you'd trust me, Mr. X.
You should have the truth.
Yes, go on.
I came for my vacation.
Mr. Thurston, do you mean to tell me the chief would let you take a vacation when a big Nazi like Jensik is loose? You should be in South America, should be in Spain, or wherever any big shot Nazi could hide out.
Look, Pagan. It was the chief himself who ordered this vacation. Said I needed it.
You look good to me, Mr. Thurston.
I should now. Wait till you see what it does for you. Oh, it's wonderful. Nothing to do but sleep and eat and sleep.
But there's no social life.
Oh, but there is, Pagan. I've been invited to tea tomorrow.
Tea? Boy, who?
A charming spinster and her cousin. Not to mention a couple of nieces who are visiting them for the summer.
I'm beginning to click.
I can hear you, Pagan. But don't get any ideas. Miss Dickinson, who's old enough to be even your mother, perish the thought, has apparently decided I'm just the man to entertain her nieces.
Well, that ought to make you very happy, Mr. Thurston.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the nieces yet.
Lemon, of course, Mr. Thurston.
If you please, Miss Dickinson.
And will you try some of Mary's butterscotch cake?
Butterscotch, my favorite.
Oh, splendid. Did you hear that, Mary?
Oh, yes, Julie. I hope you like it, Mr. Thurston.
Very much. I suppose it's a secret recipe, Miss Hancock?
Oh, mercy, no, Mr. Thurston. It's very simple. If you'd like, I'd be happy
Oh, now, Mary, Mr. Thurston was just being complimentary. I don't think he really wants the recipe.
Oh.
Oh, Elizabeth and Helen should be here any moment now. Oh, I'm afraid the poor dears have been a little bored spending so much time with two old ladies.
What two old ladies?
Thank you, Mr. Thurston. But you see, Mary and I have no illusions. In our simple, uneventful lives, we've had all too much time to count the years.
Miss Dickinson, I don't believe any life is really uneventful.
Oh, then I'm sure you have never been a school teacher.
No, but as I remember, my school teacher's life was far from uneventful.
Oh, here they are, Julie.
Oh, why, splendid. Well, hello, girls.
Sorry to be late, Aunt Julie.
Well, I'm selfish enough not to mind. It gave Mary and me a chance to have Mr. Thurston to ourselves for a few moments. Oh, Mr. Thurston, this is my niece, Elizabeth.
How do you do?
Hello?
And this is Helen.
Well, how nice.
Very nice.
Frankly, Mr. Thurston, after such a build-up, I was prepared for a letdown. I'm not.
Build up?
The strangest man stopped us, and all he did was talk about you.
Don't believe a word of it.
But he said very nice things.
Well, Pagon is, I suppose he's a kind of friend of mine.
Pagan.
Oh, if I had known you had a friend here, Mr. Thurston, you could have brought him to tea.
Pagon, tea?
Oh, dear. What's that?
That's Pagon.
But what on earth?
Nothing serious, I'm sure. Excuse me a moment later.
Well, yes, of course, Mr. Thurston.
Oh, so you'll bite me, will you cussed little polecat?
Oh, Mr. Thurston, make him let me...
Shut up, Pagon, shut up.
Does this belong to you, mister?
Not exactly. What's he been doing?
Snooping.
I was only sightseeing.
Plenty to see around here without poking your nose into folks' business.
I told you I was only looking for Mr. Thurston.
That wasn't what it looked like to me. Honest folks don't peep into windows.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, too many meddling people in the world. I don't pay no mind to what happens on the outside, but by Joppy, nobody's going to contaminate Turtle Island.
Mr. X, that man is positively a suicidal maniac.
He makes pretty good sense, Pagon.
Huh? First he shoots at you. Then he tries to strangle me. Does that make sense?
From his point of view.
Well, not from mine. Let's get out of here. Let's go chase some legitimate crook who at least looked you in the eye.
Is everything all right, Mr. Thurston?
A slight misunderstanding.
Oh, that was Mr. Candy, wasn't it?
I wouldn't know, Miss Dickinson, was it?
Oh, a very odd man. He doesn't take to people too easily. Now, we've been here for over 6 months, and Mr. Candy still makes me feel quite uncomfortable.
I've only been here 1 day, and already he's made me very uncomfortable.
Oh, Miss Dickinson, this is Pagon Zelsner.
Why, how do you do, Mr. Zelson?
Charmed, I'm sure, Miss Dickinson.
Will you join us at tea?
I'm afraid Pagon...
Nothing could be more delightful.
Oh, splendid. I hope you like butterscotch cake, Mrs. Zelson.
Yes, I do, indeed. What's the lowdown, Mr. X?
Listen carefully, Pagon.
Yes, go on.
Well, here are the facts of the case. 4 ladies, butterscotch cake, and a pot of tea.
There's something wrong with the air up here, Mr. Thurston. Only 9 o'clock, and I can hardly keep my eyes open.
Well, why don't you go to sleep? Or are you waiting for me to tuck you in?
I'm in. You know, I've come to the conclusion that you really must be on a vacation. And I wouldn't mind it either if it weren't for the money I'm not making. Rest, fresh air, pleasant company, two gorgeous girls, two nice old ladies. That Miss Julie is awfully sweet.
Go to sleep, Hagar.
It would be a great life if I could only afford it.
Hagar. Now, why did I tell him to go to sleep? Pagan. Pagan, wake up.
I didn't do it.
I didn't think you did.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Thurston. I dreamt somebody had me by the throat and...
Pagan, did you hear anything?
How could I? What is it, Mr. X?
I don't know. Maybe I was dreaming too. Oh, hello, Helen.
You were walking so fast I didn't think I'd catch you.
I'm glad you did, though.
It's none of my business, of course. But I can't figure out why you came to Turtle Island.
For a vacation.
I know, but it's so dull.
I don't think so. What more can you ask for? Everything around here is clean. The air, the sea, the people.
The people don't seem to like us.
That's because we're intruders, Helen.
Well, that's what I tried to tell Aunt Julie. She wouldn't say anything for the world, but I think she's a little uneasy.
Oh?
People like that strange Mr. Candy make her feel unwanted here.
I don't think she need feel too badly about that, Helen. From what I've heard, it takes 25 years before they stop calling you a foreigner.
You know, I didn't think I'd tell you this, but when Aunt Julie said there was a new man on the island, she was going to ask him over for tea. I didn't know what to expect.
And when she said she had a couple of nieces she wanted me to meet, I didn't know what to expect.
Then we're even.
Uh-oh. Seems we're going to have company.
What?
Your sister.
Oh, she would.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Mr. Thurston. Hi, Helen.
Looking for something?
No, just out walking.
But Elizabeth, I thought you loathed walking.
Why, Helen, you know I love it.
She won't admit it, Ken. But I think Elizabeth's got a crush on you.
Helen.
Look, girls, don't you think I better leave the room? Pagan, wake up.
What's the matter? Where am I?
Get up, Pagan, quick. Grab a bucket.
What for?
The shack's on fire.
On fire? Help! Police! Fire! Quick, Mr. Thurston! Call the fire department!
Get that bucket up here. We're the fire department.
Julie, shall I get your shawl? It's getting a little chilly.
No, don't bother, Mary dear. I'm quite comfortable.
Dreadful about the fire, wasn't it, Julie?
I'm so glad Mr. Thurston and his friend found other quarters.
It's a miracle they won't.
Yes, a miracle. Mary, did I tell you about Mr. Thurston?
Oh, he's such a nice man.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
Such nice manners, Julie.
Yes. His friend, Mr. Zellsmith, said... Oh, but I must have told.
Told me what, Julie?
Mary, Mr. Thurston... Well, you see, Mr. Thurston is the man called X.
The man called X.
Mr. X, This island gives me the willies. It's a positive jinx.
You think so, Pagan?
Who ever heard of a fire starting all by itself?
This one didn't.
Huh?
The oven was turned off, we weren't smoking, and besides, that fire started from the outside.
I've got to muddle this around in my mind. Now let's line up all the suspects.
There aren't any.
There have to be, or how can I figure it out? Now let's see. Miss Julie? No. Miss Mary? No. Miss Elizabeth? No. Miss Helen?
Yes?
No. Mr. X, there's only one criminal left.
Come in. Why, hello, Mr. Candy. Come right in.
Aha.
This ain't no social call, mister.
Come in anyway.
Oh, you ain't aiming to make trouble, but I warned you fair. Now, get off this island.
You really mean that, Mr. Candy?
Never say nothing I don't mean.
In that case, I suppose I'll have to cut my vacation short.
Nothing, personal, understand?
I understand you want me to leave.
Yeah.
You're giving in awfully easy, Mr. Thurston.
Start packing, Pagan.
Want a speck of trouble here till strangers started to come in. Makes me sore as a peep.
Naturally.
One for your shack burning down, guess I could have stood you. Fact is, you look like a right nice fellow. Bye. Might even miss you.
What kind of a double talking was that? First he says get out, and then he says I'll miss you.
It's a little like the way I sometimes feel about you, Pagan.
What?
I think I'll take one last look around the island before we go. Want to come along?
I've already looked at it. What's that?
A letter. I wonder who delivered it.
Well, aren't you going to read it?
Let's see. If you value your life, Mr. X, leave Turtle Island at once. A friend.
Mr. Thurston.
Well, at least I have a friend. Hello, Elizabeth.
Oh, hello, Mr. Thurston.
Do you mind if I walk with you?
Oh, not at all. Look, Mr. Thurston, what Helen said the other day.
Yes?
I mean about my having a crush on you. She really didn't mean that.
I didn't think she did.
I like you, of course, but
And how is Helen?
kind of a dither.
Oh?
I know I'm going to sound just like her, but Mr. Thurston, I think she has a crush on you.
Here we go again.
I'm sorry.
You want to change the subject?
Gladly.
You're very fond of your Aunt Julie, aren't you?
Oh, she's wonderful. I'm so glad she found this place.
Oh?
All her life she's dreamed of just this kind of retreat. She's always worked so hard. She deserves it.
I'm sure of that.
Glad for Miss Mary, too.
She's devoted to your aunt, isn't she?
Oh, yes. Aunt Julie's all she has. Will you be here long, Mr. Thurston?
I'm afraid not. Matter of fact, Elizabeth, I was just on my way to say goodbye to Miss Julie.
Goodbye.
I'm afraid so, Miss Julie. Somebody wants me to leave here.
But why?
That puzzles me too, Miss Mary.
But I can't think of anyone who would... Oh, no, it couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
Well, I know how Mr. Candy feels about strangers, but surely...
You think it was Mr. Candy?
Why, I don't know.
Miss Julie, I've changed my mind. I'm going to stay here for a while. There's no point in running away. Now, this is a case for the police.
Police?
Oh, dear.
Somebody on this island is afraid.
Afraid of what?
If I knew that, Miss Julie, I'd be a happier man. Watch your step now, Pagan.
How can I watch my step, Mr. X? I can't even see. What I was snooping around in the dark for anyway.
Here we are.
But it's only a barn.
Yes, Miss Julie's barn. Come on now, Pagan, quietly. Now, turn on your flashlight.
I don't see anything interesting.
They're gone.
Who's gone?
It worked. Look, you can see where they were dragged out. Here.
Who was dragged out?
Come on, Pagan. Now we've got a trail to follow.
Look, Mr. Thurston, out in the bay. That's a rowboat.
That's the end of our trail, Pagan.
Mr. X, it's a woman. It looks like... Why, it's Miss Julie.
Is it?
What's she doing out in the rowboat at this time of night?
Duck, Pagan. I think she's seen us.
Look, she's stopping. She threw something overboard, Mr. X. She's fallen in.
Or maybe jumped.
Mr. Thurston, where are you going?
Swimming.
Oh, please, Mr. Thurston, let me go. It's better if you just let me go.
We'll talk about that later. Here, I'll steady the boat. Now, you see if you can pull yourself up. Here, a little more. Just a little more. That's fine. Now, sit on the far side. While I hoist myself. There.
Oh, I'm so ashamed, Mr. Thurston.
Miss Mary, when you threw the food overboard, you should remember that bread doesn't sink. It gave you away.
When I saw you, I became so frightened. I didn't think. I just didn't think.
You were on your way to Little Turtle Rock, weren't you, Miss Mary?
Yes.
All right, then. Let's go.
Oh, no. No, Mr. Thurston, we mustn't. We'll both be killed.
Start rowing, Miss Mary.
But you can't.
No one will see me if I lie in the bottom of the boat.
I can't.
Miss Mary, you've got to.
You, woman.
Go ahead, Miss Mary, just as I told you. Answer him.
Yes, it's I.
Well, come on, quickly.
Good, Miss Mary.
You've got the food?
Yes, Mr. Jensick.
Good. And have you got that Mr. X out of the way yet?
I think so.
And what are you waiting for?
Oh, the bag is so heavy. Will you help me, please?
You have brought a lot of things this time, yeah?
Yes, a lot of things. I think you have to get into the boat. I can't lift.
Oh, all right.
There, in the front.
Yes, I can see. What's this?
Good evening, Mr. Jensick.
Who? This woman has told you.
No, Jensick. We were pretty sure you were hiding out on one of these islands, and we knew you'd have to show your hand sooner or later.
So. It is very convenient, Mr. X, that you have come here alone, because now I am going to make you...
Sorry, Jensick, but I've got to deliver you in person. You know, Miss Mary, I was sure that somebody on Turtle Island must have been providing Jensick with supplies. Hard to believe it was you.
Mr. Thurston, ever since he surprised me one night as I was walking along the beach, I've been frightened. So frightened. It would have been much easier if I'd just told you in the beginning.
Why didn't you, Miss Mary?
Because he threatened me. Oh, I didn't mind about myself. That wouldn't matter. But he said he'd killed Julie and the girls. Oh, Mr. Thurston, I was so afraid.
Yes, I knew you were afraid. I knew that must be it. Miss Mary, not so very long ago, other nice people were afraid of men like Jensick, and their fear was an invitation to destruction. That's the tragedy, Miss Mary. Fear led to appeasement, and that's almost as bad as outright collaboration.
Oh, but Mr. Thurston, you don't think
Miss
that
Mary, I know how you feel about it. But if people like you had stood up and told the world how you felt about it, the world would never have had to endure such terror, such hunger and misery. Come on, Miss Mary, let's go back and have some butterscotch cake. Join us once when next night return at The Man Called X. Good night.
The Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall, came to you from Hollywood. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed our latest adventure with a man called X. It's all about comedy for a Monday with Hancock's Half Hour going live at 5 p.m. GMT. Also, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a supporter page, patreon.com/Brett's Old Time Radio Show. But more important than that, we have a brand new podcast. It's called Sunday Night Mystery. If you go and check it out, ask your device to play the podcast Sunday Night Mystery and it will be up and running for you. Thanks for listening. I'll be with you 7 days a week, each and every week, and I'll see you tomorrow on Brett's Old Time Radio Show. Love you. Bye.